Hey there, everybody. Franklin Taggart here with the virtual coffee break. Here is my coffee. Grab yours and let's have a chat, shall we? What a beautiful Wednesday afternoon here in Colorado. 80-degree day. It's best of fall, if you ask me. So, a couple of things I wanted to mention. I know I've been talking about my friend Jess Kotzer a lot lately, but I went to her automation workshop today and really enjoyed what I learned there. I do quite a bit of automation in small quantities for different tasks that I do, but to see the way that Jess integrated it and made her workflow like from one end to the other as automated as it could be was inspiring, to say the least. So I'm hoping that at some point that she'll make that available to a wider population. And she's offering some great coaching packages for people who want to get their systems automated quickly and efficiently and, make it work for you. So I'll be posting more about that. And Jess and I are going to be getting together in October to talk a little bit more. And I hope that we'll talk about that topic because automation is definitely something that I think that those of us who work alone especially benefit from greatly. Let's see what else we can do. I know what it was. One of the questions that has come up a lot lately is how important is it to build an email list? Now, what's really interesting to me, I have an answer to that question that may be, I don't know, for some people it may be surprising. I spent a long time building up an email list. And first of all, for my music performance list, that effort went on for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. And it started as a snail mail list. That tells you how long I was doing it. But having a mailing list was essential to my music career early on, especially because it was the primary way that I could get in touch with people, let them know about gigs, new recordings, collaborations that I was doing, or any other kinds of announcements that I needed to make. And it was, I have to say that back then, generally it was easier to have an email list. Spam filters weren't quite as prominent as they are now, and you could bulk email with very little resistance. That's gotten somewhat different since then. Spam filters are definitely more sophisticated, and spammers have become more sophisticated. So bulk email tends to be still not the most flawless way to reach people. However, it still reaches more people than your social media posting does. And the example that I'll use is like, I still have, for my coaching email list, it's less than 500 people. But what's really interesting is that when I do send an email, I don't send out emails very often, probably once every couple of months. And I don't like to load people's inbox with spam and offers and stuff like that. I usually just send out an email when there's something really important for me to share. What's really interesting, though, is that I've got this list of 500 people, and whenever I send an email out, I usually have about a 65 to 70% open rate. So more than half of my 500 people, about 300 people probably, are opening the emails. Now, on my Facebook profile, on my personal profile, I have, I think it's over 2,500 followers now. I can't remember exactly. I know it was getting up there. And whenever I put a post up on Facebook, generally the number of people who see that are significantly less than 500 people. So even though I have more followers on Facebook, fewer people see the things that I post there. And so my email list is a more reliable place to reach the people who are interested in what I have to offer. Now, if I go on my professional page on Facebook, my business page, the ghost town that it is, I think I have, I don't know, maybe 400 or so followers on my business page on Facebook. And whenever I post on there, I would bet that less than 20 people see that post. And I've tried to post it as stories. I've tried to use all of that thing. But quite honestly, if you want to reach people on Facebook through your business page or your professional page, there's going to be a fee attached to it. And so what I've started to look at is I'm ready to start building up my email list again, and I'm probably going to be doing a publication. It's not going to be a frequent kind of a deal, but it is going to be something that I want to be high value, high impact. And so I am interested in finding some automation solutions. And I just switched over. I've been a MailChimp user for many years for my mailing list, and I will continue to publish to that list. But that's more of a personal email list than it is a business email list. And my music email list is pretty much, I'm going to probably move all of my music activities over to Patreon now that I'm not performing publicly anymore. But for my coaching email, I decided to go with MailerLite, and I'm going to start working on email sequences that I haven't done that in a few years now. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is that the way that email sequences work has changed a whole lot. I'm learning, always learning. I think most of us are, right? But getting back to the original question, which was, do I really need to have an email list? No, you don't. However, I think you have to ask yourself some serious questions. And that is like, how are you going to stay in touch with the people who you want to know, who you want to be in contact with about the things that you're doing? Like if you are a performer, how are you going to let people know? Because people, if you post to your email, to your Facebook page or to your, Instagram or whatever, there's only going to be a percentage of people who see that to begin with, and only another smaller percentage is going to stop on it and look at it. So is that return, is that what you want? And would you get a better return if you had an email list that you were sending the same information out to, right? So those kinds of questions I think need to be answered. Is email something that you can do to more consistently reach the people that you need to reach? If so, then by all means, build your list. The other thing that I think is really important is it's something that people have talked about for years now. I remember I had a MySpace page years ago. I was one of the first people on MySpace in my circles because I was a musician, and it was a really cool way to be able to share my music with people. But I remember when MySpace died, it was almost overnight. People flocked away from MySpace and over to Facebook, and MySpace became a ghost town overnight. And the only people who were posting on MySpace after that happened were musicians who were trying to get people to come to their shows and to listen to their music. Well, it wasn't a place where that could happen very easily anymore. So the other thing that we all have been hearing about are all of the restrictions and the difficulties on Facebook with things like copyright and getting shut down, for apparently no reason, because we've violated some term of service that's buried somewhere deep inside the terms of service agreement that we all signed up for and probably didn't read. But I hear over and over again about accounts that have just been shut down, seemingly arbitrarily. And I don't think that it's worth the risk to put all of your connection eggs in one basket like that. So in that case, email makes a lot more sense to me than social media, for reaching the people that you need to reach, because social media, Facebook giveth and Facebook can taketh away at the drop of a hat for no apparent reason. I just got a copyright notice on Facebook. It's been just about a month ago, I guess, saying that I had violated copyright, but they didn't tell me which post violated copyright. I don't use any copyrighted material in my videos. The only copyrighted stuff up that I have up on Facebook is stuff that I've copyrighted. How's it a violation? It's a mystery to me. And then, on YouTube, people arbitrarily kind of report copyright violations when there are none, and it shuts down the page just long enough, for that creator to, lose half their audience. And then by the time that YouTube investigates the copyright, claim, you don't know what's happened, and you've got to come back. And in some cases, I don't know that you're starting from square one, but you're definitely 2 steps back. So I really feel like that it's important to consider that email is still a reliable way to reach people who want to be reached. If they've opted into your email list, if they have signed up for that, and they ultimately unsubscribe, that's okay. I've subscribed and unsubscribed from so many lists because, at the time that I subscribed, it was interesting to me. But as I grew and changed, it was less interesting. So I unsubscribed. It's not personal. It's just that I needed the mental space of not being bombarded with, look at me emails all day long. So I don't think it's an easy answer, but I don't think that you have to have email, but you do have to have a way of staying in touch with people. I have 2 clients that I want to mention. One of them does everything by snail mail. It's all handwritten letters. It's all highly personal. This business is one that relies on, high ticket coaching sales. So all of the contact is done firsthand, either by handwritten notes or by telephone calls. This person refuses to use the 2-dimensional email and text and social media, and their clients appreciate and respect that. It's one of the things that differentiates them from their competitors. They have a highly personal touch. Maybe that's something to consider as well. In my case, I don't have to have thousands of people in my business. As I start to release courses and things like that, it may be more important for me to be able to reach thousands of people at a time. But to have my coaching practice be as active as I want it to be, I only have to reach, a handful of people at a time. So maybe I don't need to do bulk emailing as much. And I can send individual emails, or I can reach out to people by phone or directly, and it works just fine. So those are considerations to bring into the picture. Do you need it? Maybe you do. That's for you to decide. And how you use it is also an important, set of decisions to make. Do you want to use it to send out a weekly announcement? Do you want to send out? I know folks who send out sometimes multiple emails a day, and their followers don't seem to mind because they have a pretty strong relationship with their following. So, like I said, anytime that Laura Belgray sends me an email, I'm going to open it. We've never met in person, but I love what she does, and I love the way that she does it, and it's like her emails I don't mind seeing in my inbox. Dre Beltrami can send me an email every day, and I will open it because Dre always sends high quality, high value stuff, right? So if you're going to use it, just use it wisely and use it in a way that just legitimately builds real connections with people. Don't just hit them over the head with sales offers all the time. Build legitimate connections with folks. Use it to build the know, like, and trust. And I think that that's probably the best use of the tool. So those are my thoughts. I've been rambling for a while now. This is the longest damn coffee break I've ever done. So anyhow, folks, I will be back tomorrow with another coffee break. If you have any thoughts or questions, leave them in the comments. And if you'd love to get in touch, Franklin at franklintaggart.com. Drop me a line. So long.